They say that it's all about their civil program, and yet they've been enriching well beyond the number that you need for civil nuclear. It's up to 60%. They're probably a week away from having industrial grade bomb-making material.
The warning comes as U.S. and Iranian negotiators prepare to meet again in Geneva Thursday. Amid new concerns, the regime is continuing to push its enrichment program forward.
The president has privately warned advisors that if diplomacy or even a limited strike fails to make Iran give up its nuclear program, he is ready to escalate to much larger, broader military action in the coming weeks. Joining us, former CIA station chief and Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman. Dan, great to see you. And the Wall Street Journal reports that the Pentagon has been flagging risk of a major operation against Iran, and that General Dan Kane, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, has been warning about the risk of an extended military campaign against Iran, including casualties and depleted air defenses. How do you see this unfolding?
Yeah, I think that's an indication that the Trump administration is actually serious about launching kinetic strikes against Iran if Iran doesn't come to negotiate in good faith. Look, this is what the Pentagon does. They look at all the second and third order effects. Iran has proxy terrorists at their disposal, Hezbollah. They still have remnants of Hamas, but they've got the Houthis in Yemen and assassination hit squads globally that they could bring to bear against us. It's worth noting as well that the leader of al-Qaeda, Saif al-Adil, is currently enjoying sanctuary inside Iran. So there are all sorts of opportunities for Iran to target us. We saw a glimpse of that last June when the Trump administration targeted Iran's nuclear facilities. I'm sure the Pentagon is wargaming every bit of this so that President Trump can make the most educated decision possible, because look, the stakes could not be higher right now in terms of our negotiations with Iran.
So you use the words good faith, and I kind of wonder, can you put Iran and the words good faith in the same sentence? Has something changed in the world that makes that possible now, Dan?
Yeah, look, I think you're absolutely right to be mistrusting Iran significantly. We used to think the same about the Soviet Union, and then President Reagan was able to deliver some pretty impressive arms control agreements. Look, we've got our boots on the Iranians' throats like never before. They're faced with internal domestic unrest, a protest movement that's as strong as it's ever been, an economy in free fall, a shortage of water, and the people who are tired of the Iranian government sending their hard-earned financial resources overseas to pay for terrorist operations. If Iran were to strike a deal, yeah, we'd really have to mistrust that deal, and we'd have to verify it. Right now, there are no IAEA inspectors in Iran. So if you're looking for something to hang our hat on, some proof that this concept of a deal might be possible, I don't see it right now. Moreover, Iran doesn't want to give up the right to enrich uranium. They don't want to discuss their ballistic missile program, and they certainly don't want to hedge on their support to proxy terrorists. Remember that the Trump administration years ago walked away from the JCPOA, and rightly so, because of the nuclear sunset clauses and the fact that the JCPOA didn't address all of the other concerns we had about Iran.
So I want to switch gears and ask you about this, Dan, as well. And you know, just this is your expertise, not mine, but amazing operation in Mexico to get a notorious drug lord, El Mencho, I guess is what they call him. But now you've got cities there where people, Americans, are being advised to shelter in place, and we're looking at images of plumes of smoke rising. How do you read that situation?
Yeah, well, first of all, absolutely right. This was one of those find, fix, and finish operations that reportedly relied on United States intelligence. This leader of the Jalisco cartel, El Mencho, reportedly was tracked down through a romantic partner, which is not the first time that we've been able to accomplish a mission that way. But now the results of that kinetic strike are quite significant. Certainly the violence that we're seeing in Mexico, and then the question of a succession plan for that cartel and the extent to which their operations might be disrupted, and then their relationships with other cartels in Mexico. Look, Mexico's got a serious cartel problem there. We know that. This cartel is involved in human smuggling and drug smuggling as well. So I think we're really far closer to the beginning of this fight than we are to the end of it. This was a great tactical success, but there's a lot to do. The Mexican government is going to want us to believe that we can rely on them, as we did in this case, to launch these sorts of strikes so that we don't have to do it ourselves, but they're going to have to keep proving that they can do that. And if they don't, then the pressure will build for the Trump administration to take the lead instead.
We will put up the intelligence, maybe, Dan, but then they have to act on it, correct?
For now, I think that's the case. But I also believe that if they don't act on it effectively, or if they refuse to act on it, then I think the pressure would build for the Trump administration to say, look, we're going to do it ourselves the way we reportedly once upon a time did it before in the Pakistan-Afghanistan region, targeting al-Qaeda. And we might be looking at that in Mexico if the Mexicans can't handle it themselves.
Hammer down. Dan Hoffman, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Great
sir.
to see you, sir.